gave them the power to destroy themselves. And the world is not prepared.
8, 7, 6, 5.
What's up, y'all? Critic here, and today I want to talk about Christopher Nolan's new film, Oppenheimer. Now, Oppenheimer is basically about J. Robert Oppenheimer from his early days in college to the origin to create the atomic bomb, and then the aftermath of it, the politics, the decision of creating more bombs after creating the atomic bomb during World War II. Now, with Christopher Nolan, if y'all know me for a long time, you know Christopher Nolan is one of my favorite directors. Probably the director that I truly love. I really enjoy The Prestige, The Dark Knight trilogy, Inception, Interstellar. I even enjoy Dunkirk and Tenet. Christopher Nolan is an all-time director, and there's no difference here. With this movie, I'm sorry to say, he is the greatest director, in my opinion. The greatest director. Yes, Steven Spielberg, David Fincher, Martin Scorsese, name them. I prefer Christopher Nolan more than those other directors because Christopher Nolan is so competent on what he makes. He's very strategic on what he wants and how he's going to picture a movie, from the filming to the cinematography to the music to the editing. All of that is displayed here on how Christopher Nolan works and how his brain works and how he's able to put all that together and put it on screen and make it very cerebral and very informative on what Oppenheimer was going through during those times, from the perspective of how Oppenheimer operates to him creating the atomic bomb, getting like a group of people to help him make this atomic bomb, which probably took him a few years, then creating the bomb, celebrating the creation of making it, and then having the realization of damn, I just created something that can destroy the whole planet, and other people want to make that weapon. The fact that Christopher Nolan was able to make a 3-hour movie of people talking. I'm just gonna say, this movie, if you think you're gonna get action, if you think this movie is just gonna be about the atomic bomb, this movie is not for you. You're gonna be very disappointed. Just know that this movie is basically about Oppenheimer. From Oppenheimer to other people that are connected with Oppenheimer, and how the decision he makes with creating the atomic bomb influenced everything. It changed human history, as they say. The fact that Nolan was able to do that, make a 3-hour film, fast-paced, very intense. The fact that he was able to do that was an amazing achievement. Any other person that would do this movie, it would be boring as shit. Like no offense, but when I watched Lincoln, it was pretty good. But at certain points, I kind of fell asleep. Like other biopics like this, it would have been boring. But the way Christopher Nolan was able to edit, the fact that he was able to use color, like there's in the movie, you have like the gray scenes which represents the objective point of view of what's happening with Oppenheimer and the politics that were against him. And then you have the color part, which is subjective, where you can see the perspective of what he's doing, and you can interpret it the way you want to. Like, is he a bad person? Is he a hero? Or is he just somebody that was just involved in the mean streaks of politics, the government? Nolan is a genius, and the fact that he was able to put all that together was amazing. Yeah, in Oppenheimer, the movie doesn't really make you sympathize with him, really, or feel sorry for him. it just gives you the outsider's perspective on his mindset. Creating a bomb, the politics of the atomic bomb, the guilt of creating the atomic bomb. Also, the man was a player. He was a player when it comes to women. Let me tell you, Oppenheimer is a player, bro. He got 2 women. He got what's his name? Jean Toglick, played by Florence Pugh, basically a side chick that he got in the movie. And then his wife, Kitty Oppenheimer, played by Amelia Blunt, who could have left him at any time, but was like, I gotta stand by my man. I already got this baby, and I can't let them ruin what we got. So she stayed behind him throughout the whole movie. Does she talk? Do they have like big parts in it? To be honest, not that much. But Kitty Oppenheimer has a significant scene that basically emphasizes what Oppenheimer is going through. And it's very impactful the way Emily Blunt played her. Yeah, it was just great to see. Also, Oppenheimer, besides making this fast pace and making the editing, the way Nolan edits to make this engaging, the way I feel Oppenheimer is it feels like a documentary, but like in a movie sense, like a cinematic sense. Because documentaries, usually you hear people talking and then you see pictures going through while the other person talks about the experience that's going on in the past on the subject that they talk about. Here, you get scenes of people talking. Like, there's a scene where Oppenheimer is being trialed, by Jason Clarke's character. And then he talks about his experience, and as he does that, that's the scene. Like he will talk about the nuclear bomb, the creation of the nuclear bomb, and then there will be the scene of the nuclear bomb. Like, that's how Nolan was editing it. Like, it was a documentary a bit. So Nolan was great, of course. Greatest director of all time. Also, the cast. The cast was amazing. Cillian Murphy killed it as Oppenheimer. He will get nominated for Best Actor. He was great. He was able to show facial expressions of the guilt, the regret, and sometimes the frustration of what's around him and how he can't stop the machine that's, that basically like destroying what he's trying to think that's going on or whatever. Basically, it shows Oppenheimer frustration and all that. And Cillian Murphy kills it and was able to express that with the Oppenheimer character they had to portray. Like I said, Emily Blunt as Kelly Oppenheimer was good. I can't really tell you what they were going through, but Emily Blunt killed it. The standouts, Robert Downey Jr. as Louis Strauss. He was amazing. Sometimes I take Robert Downey Jr. for granted because I see him as Iron Man all the time. And it was just like, oh, he can do this in his sleep. He can act like Tony Stark anytime. But here he showed his acting chops as Louis Strauss. He was conniving. He was a hater. Every time the media talks about Oppenheimer, Louis Strauss is just sick. He's sick of this dude. He wants to get credit for what Oppenheimer was doing with the atomic bomb and make it his own thing. Robert Downey Jr. was great. He definitely gonna get nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Like, this cast is strong. Also, besides Robert Downey Jr., who was the biggest standout, Alden, the boy who did Han Solo, he was great. And Jason Clarke as, the person that was questioning Oppenheimer and the people that were involved, he was amazing as well. He probably was the second best performer besides RDJ, and third because of Oppenheimer. So he's one of the big standouts in the movie. But the MVP of this movie was Ludwig Göransson. I never thought the dude that did album with Childish Gambino would make such a perfect, amazing, inspiring, heart-throbbing score for a Christopher Nolan movie. Like, I never thought that would happen. because the internet with Childish Gambino, and now makes this probably the best score of the year with Oppenheimer. Like, that's just amazing to see. Like I said, the score was inspiring. It was haunting. Lots of classic like violins, but like with a futuristic type of beat. The score especially during the Trinity scene, amazing. There's a certain score called "Can You Hear the Music?" The best score of the year. There's probably not going to be anything better. I already worked out to it. It was great. Ludwig was the MVP of this movie. If his music wasn't there, I ain't gonna lie, it's probably not gonna be as good. But Christopher Nolan picked him for a reason. He is. If he doesn't get Hans Zimmer, it's gonna be Ludwig Göransson. So shout out to Ludwig Göransson. He's amazing. I'm rooting for him to get best score again, because he did get that with Black Panther. This movie was not at well. It's great. It's probably the second best movie, maybe first. I'm not sure. I'm still trying to figure that out. But I will say that it does have some negatives to it. Of course, every movie has some, a little bit of negatives. Not every movie's gonna be perfect. I'll say the movie, like I said before, the movie doesn't have any action at all, and it's more dialogue heavy. So if you're anticipating this to be, about this atomic bomb, and they're gonna show, the bomb hitting, the cities in Japan, like, that's not happening. So if you're looking forward to that, that's not gonna happen. They don't show that. It's gonna be more of a talking point, and the most you get to the action is of PDS scenes, PSD. That's basically the most action you're going to get. As much as I know this is from Oppenheimer's perspective, I did wish we get more Florence Pugh character as Jean Taklak, because she was, a communist, and Oppenheimer wasn't supposed to be with her like that. And I wish we got some more information about her to understand Oppenheimer, just to see what's going on or whatever. But I know that they can't put like much in there, even though it's 3 hours. But Nolan decided that that's not the purpose of this Oppenheimer story. So it is what it is with that. Oppenheimer, especially the movie Oppenheimer, especially from the beginning, was very fast paced. Like, it was so fast paced that I couldn't really. I had to catch up on what's going on with the movie. I couldn't really collect all the names together. I had to go on IMDb, or sometimes luckily they repeat the same names throughout the movie. So I was just like, okay, I remember this certain person's name. I remember this certain person's name. I remember Matt Damon as this certain character. I remember Cillian Murphy as their certain. Well, of course, Cillian Murphy is Oppenheimer, and then Robert Downey Jr., Alden, Rami Malek, all these dudes. I remember their characters because they repeating the same names over and over and over again. So I was like, okay, I see where we're going here. So I'm probably gonna watch it a second time just to see what I had to catch, especially from the beginning. But those were really the negatives that I can point out that I'm just like, okay, I wish this would slow down a bit so I understand, or I wish we had more screen time with this character. But other than that, Oppenheimer was amazing. It was very cinematic, filmed well, scored well, acted well, edited well. Everything was just great. And this is probably fighting with Across the Spider-Verse for me. Those are the two heavyweights for me this year. They're two different movies, so you can't really compare. So I'll just say Oppenheimer. I hope Oppenheimer is the best. Is one of the best movies of the year, in my opinion. No, people have different opinions on what's the best movie or not. But in my opinion, Oppenheimer is the best movie of the year, no doubt. They were able to show. They make a movie of Oppenheimer not fun, but but more people to get engaged with and interested in it, because not everybody, unfortunately, knows that Oppenheimer was the father of the atomic bomb, and that he was the reason human society changed because of the nuclear bomb and how people operate, especially with the government and all that. So that was really cool what Nolan did with the movie. It was great. I can't wait for the Oscars, campaign to start so I can just start hyping this movie up on Twitter like I usually do. So yeah, Oppenheimer is really good, and I really enjoy the movie, as y'all see. So that's it for my review for Oppenheimer. Make sure you like this video, comment down below your thoughts on the movie. Also subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to be the first to see my new content. Alright, y'all. Peace.